This is my depressive episode caught on camera for anyone who's interested in learning about what it's like for someone with BPD to have a sudden mood change. And it sucks. I'm bored. I'm empty. I feel like a different person right now compared to, days ago. Even though I can't quite remember how I felt before, I'm feeling just whiplash, emotional whiplash right now. Like, I'm having such a hard time even remembering what it felt like to be happy. And I know there's a term for this. I think it's called emotional impermanence, where I don't even know if I'm getting this right. Where when you feel one thing, you completely forget how the other thing feels. And I think that a lot of people who deal with depression experience this kind of emotional impermanence where you feel like this is all you felt the entire time. And I know in my mind that that's not true, but it's really hard to convince myself of that right now. I think that once I stop moping and do my exercises from therapy, I will actually start to feel better. But I just wanted to catch this on camera, that this is what it's like to experience BPD and a change in mood. I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I am diagnosed with major depressive disorder, which I think is really PMDD, because I tend to get really depressed right after my period. And it happens like clockwork. It happens every month. So I think something's going on there, but I wasn't officially diagnosed as that. And I've had social anxiety. I was diagnosed with that a long time ago. So I do have a mixture of disorders. It's easy to see why I'm tired every single day. I never know when my mood is going to change. I never know if I'm going to be okay enough to see people, or if I'm going to be gentle with myself, because oftentimes when I am depressed, I get really hell-bent on finishing things, being productive. And I know that that's not the classic trait of depression, but for me, I like to distract myself, and I tend to work myself to the bone. And then at the end of it, when I have nothing to do, all of my feelings just come up, and I start to either cry or lash out, and I tend to regret doing that later. So this morning, I started to work my ass off doing chores, and I knew that I was doing this, so I forced myself to play video games just so that I could curb what I normally do. I am self-aware of this trait. But after that, I just went crazy and I did chores, and then I caught myself. So that's why I'm making this video. What I'm trying to say is that depression looks different in different people. And these are the things that indicate to me that I'm depressed, is I'm doing a lot of shit. I work a lot. Even on my day off, I'm trying to look for things to do to be productive, which is annoying. I can't even stop to take care of myself sometimes. I don't know. I'm in a mood where I'm trying to be like a robot right now and pushing down my feelings because I don't like what I'm feeling. I feel, like I said, I'm feeling those traumatic emotions, feeling just I'm always going to be this broken person, pretty much. I think that I'm always going to be the person that was bullied in school. I'm always going to be the person that's easy to forget. I'm always going to be the person that's awkward. And a part of me feels like it's true right now because, don't I have social anxiety? Aren't I different? Aren't I really closed off to people? Because I'm scared of every single relationship that I have. Yes, I've made new ones, and I'm better at living up to my boundaries and taking care of myself now. But I'm terrified of every interaction when I go to a party and I'm seeing my friends again. I'm just worried about a trigger coming up and coming home and regretting the interaction, being embarrassed, feeling like they rejected me. Those little things come up, and I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that they don't feel this to this intense degree. They're not overthinking something that I said to them. And I just feel alone in that sense, that the tiniest thing can just fuck me up for a whole month even. And it's easy to feel like I'm never going to get better, because even as I am technically recovered, as in I don't mess with my relationships anymore, I'm not lashing out at loved ones, I'm not really lashing out in the sense that like I'm like threatening to break up with them, I'm not really hurting myself, and I'm going to therapy, like all of those things are true, but I'm still dealing with this mess that I'm feeling right now. And that happens. I feel like it's going to happen for the rest of my life, and I just have to deal with it. For the sake of this video, I'm going to try to be positive. I'm going to do my exercise that I talked about in my last video called Taking in the Good. And the reason why this works is because you're not reaching for the stars and telling yourself something that you don't truly believe. Taking in the good means looking at the positives about yourself that are realistic. So I'm not going to say that I'm like a fully cured mental health guru, but I am going to say that I am taking care of myself right now, and that shows, self-compassion, and it shows that I love myself in a way, because rather than working myself to the bone like I normally do, I'm not doing that. I stopped and I decided to make a video, and this is a form of self-care because I'm expressing myself. I'm doing something creative. I'm doing something that is not what I normally do when I'm depressed. Another thing that's good is I'm not isolating myself. I'm still trying to keep in contact with my loved ones. I'm still trying to plan Christmas events on Zoom. I'm still trying to be really kind to my husband despite how irritated I am at everything right now. And I am really happy with myself for maintaining my relationships when I could be messing them up like I used to. I want to say that I'm grateful for having people in my life to take this opportunity to improve on myself, and they're still here. Like, I could be dealing with all of this on my own. I could be feeling depressed and having nobody to talk to. And even if I don't feel like talking to anyone, it feels really good to know that I can if I needed to. Another thing that's good is overcoming my love and sex addiction to the point where I can catch myself when I'm having love and sex addicting thoughts. I can tell myself that this is just a defense mechanism, a coping tool that I've used for my whole life due to my upbringing, and I recognize it as that rather than seeing it as like an indication that I'm really attracted to somebody. I know that I'm not. I know that I know myself, so I'm just proud of myself for not falling into those patterns. A little background on that is when I tend to get really insecure and feel alone, I used to just try to find love wherever it was, whenever somebody was attracted to me, I would trick myself into being attracted to them because I liked that sort of attention. And while that feeling can come up when I'm feeling especially bad about myself today, I recognize it as my love and sex addiction rather than something that I truly want for myself. So knowing when to distinguish those two things, knowing that I have a choice, knowing that I'm not a slave to my addictions anymore really is a big feat. I am proud of myself for that. And wow, that was really personal. I don't even know if I want to put this in the video, but I'll decide later. But that is something that genuinely makes me feel better about myself, is seeing how far I've come, seeing that I can be faithful in a relationship. And I've been with my partner for 9 years. He, of course, knows this about me, and we openly talk about everything. And that's another thing that I love, is I love that I have that opportunity to share this much of myself with another person. And earlier I said that I'm afraid of all of my relationships, well, that's one relationship that I'm not afraid of. And I've really opened up to this person, my husband. And I'm really proud of myself for being that strong, because I have really bad intimacy issues to the point where once I'm getting close to someone, I start crying because I'm so scared. So traditionally, when you get close to someone, you're supposed to be happy and just like full of joy. But for me, I tend to cry. I tend to just feel scared and traumatized that they're already going to leave me. I already start fantasizing about the day that they're going to reject me or the day that they're going to disappear. But despite feeling all of that while falling in love with my husband, I decided to challenge my fears, and it's what's gotten me into this really successful relationship where we've been together for 9 years. So I'm happy about that, and I'm happy that I can share all my feelings with him, no matter how innocuous or seemingly dramatic I'm being, or dramatic those thoughts are. He's interested because he truly loves me, and I realize that I'm very lucky to have that. I feel a little better now talking about this. Another thing I just thought of is I have plans for my future, which I can't access my ideas for the future when I'm feeling down, but the fact that I'm doing it now is really good. And my plans for the future are to have 2 chow chows, live with my husband in a house, and just build my little family, my little fur family. And I'm with a partner who also doesn't want to have kids, so that makes me feel really happy. We're not going to be arguing about building a human family because we both want the same things, and I'm just happy that I can envision my future with him. I'm happy that I want to build a healthy home, and just having this to look forward to is already kind of snapping me out of my depression, so that is really good. And yeah, there are a lot of things that are good. It's just harder for me to see them right now, but I am putting in the work to really lift my mood. So there you have it. This is the video where you saw my progression from deeply depressed to still depressed, but able to see the good in things. So that is my video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and feel free to leave a comment down below, and to become pen pals. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.